What is your American dream?
My family is from Ecuador and I am from Chicago. My American dream is to be able to pay back my parents for everything they did for me.
Rick, I'm from France and my American dream is to help every day the homeless. Merci à vous.
I am from Tunisia. My American dream is to see love and peace.
I was born in North Carolina, Rocky Mountain. My dream is to have peace, and that's it.
My parents are Guyanese, so I'm first generation American. My American dream is that we all get the same treatment, same laws, same education as everyone. That will be my American dream.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Oh, well, so close yet so far. Oh! Hello there! I was just thinking about the Final Four game last night. You know, University of Michigan is Brad's alma mater, so he was voting for them to win. Meanwhile, yours truly joined a groundhog pool, and I actually went with the underdogs because I know all about being an underdog. I voted for Loyola Chicago, and guess who won the pool because no one else thought they'd come close? Yours truly, Groundhog Sam. Amazing. I won a month's supply of pretzels! Very excited. Anyway, in case you missed yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live, Jorge Narvaez was on. He has a YouTube channel called Reality Changers. He's a social media influencer, and he discussed how Reality Changers focuses on his love of music, community, and Hispanic culture. And he discussed his family's immigration story from Mexico to the United States. And our field correspondent from Miami, Anna Ascona, interviewed Nikki 305 about her family's immigration story from the Dominican Republic and her career. What's on today's show? Very exciting, wonderful show. Stay tuned!
All right, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday, April 3rd, I believe. Yes, it is. And welcome everybody to Brad Show Live. As we were just getting on the air, for those who don't know, there was an incident out in California. A woman, apparently, it was a woman, has entered the YouTube compound. It's basically their corporate headquarters out in California. There was an active shooting. I say was an active shooting, according to, I'm looking here, 24 seconds ago, while Sam the Groundhog was gloating about Michigan losing. The San Bruno police have said that the female shooter at the YouTube headquarters is dead. 3 other people have gone to, I guess, San Francisco General Hospital. I guess that's what SF stands for. And so there are 3 people who are injured. We don't know if they are alive or dead. But apparently, according to the San Bruno Police Department, on Twitter, the woman who went into YouTube, who shot up YouTube, at least 20 rounds, from what I understood right before we got on, went off. And then Kim has told me, welcome Belgium, Kim. Kim has told me right while I was looking at Twitter and said, oh, the shooter is dead now. Yeah. Kim said that she shot herself.
That's what the police chief said.
That's what the police say. Yeah. So what we knew ahead of time was that the police responded to multiple 911 calls at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California. 1,700 people work in that building. Vadim Lavrusik, if I got his name right. Yeah. He's a product manager at the company. He tweeted that there was an active shooter on the campus. The San Bruno Police Department instructed people to stay away from Cherry Avenue, which I guess is where you go into the building. On a Twitter thread, YouTube product manager Todd Sherman said the employees first thought there was an earthquake. People began running out of their meetings, he said, but before reaching the exit, they got word that someone had a gun. And Sherman said he saw blood on the floor and the stairs, and that's when he started running. footage that was posted on Snapchat, because we looked on our Snapchat.
Right.
This is really why Snapchat's really good.
This is.
Because it is real people giving real news at real time. So we looked at our Snapchat before we came on, and it showed, if you ever go on Snapchat, you can look, it showed the YouTube employees streaming out of the building with their hands above their heads. They didn't want to be confused for the shooter, so they wanted to show the police that they were not the ones who had the guns. The doors to the YouTube headquarters, I'm told, are locked. Visitors have to be buzzed in by someone at the front desk. No one knows how this woman, this is a female white woman, that is what they say. A female white woman shot up the place. And as anybody knows, YouTube is one of the most visited sites on the web. And what is interesting, we don't know what this woman's motive was, but what is interesting is that last month the company updated its policy in response to what happened in Parkland, Florida. And they said they will no longer air videos featuring firearms and expanding the list of accessories. They had a lot of videos showing people how to shoot firearms and add accessories onto firearms, these bump stocks to make them machine guns, and they banned all of those instructional videos from YouTube. I don't know if this is what is happened or not, if this is one of the reasons why, or this is something random, or she had some other beef with YouTube. We will find out eventually. We're glad to hear that the incident is over. We're very unhappy to hear that there was any shooting whatsoever. Again, gun control. Okay, no guns, no shooting. It's that simple. And whatever any joy people get from hunting Bambi, and whatever feel-good feelings that people get by having a gun for their self-protection, you don't need to self-protect yourself with a gun if there's nobody else with a gun. That's kind of like the theory of gun patrol.
Right.
Not gun patrol, gun control. Having such trouble with words these days. It's weird. So that's the issue with gun control. And for every place, by the way, for every place where guns come off the streets, there's less shootings. It is a scientific fact, although Mr. Trump does not like science. It's also a scientific fact that the world is warming, even though we had snow yesterday. Okay, there's a lot of science that we have to, it's very sad when we have to protest that science is real.
Right.
Okay.
It's a weird world.
It's a weird world when we have to listen. It was proven scientifically this is true.
I have facts here that support everything I'm
Correct.
saying.
So I'm looking here on Twitter. The 4 victims. We don't know what happened. We do know that the woman was wearing a dark top hat and a headscarf. So people on Twitter are automatically saying she was a Muslim terrorist. We don't know if that, just because you have a scarf on.
Right.
I wear a scarf every day.
Right.
Sometimes a hat also.
Right.
I am not Muslim or I'm not a terrorist.
Right.
Okay. So we don't know anything yet. So let's not all jump to conclusions on any of that. That all 4 victims have been transported for gunshot-related injuries. That's according to USA Today.
4 victims.
And 1 person is dead inside, and that's presumably that is the shooter. Our hearts go out to the people who were shot. We hope that they are okay.
Absolutely.
So that is the breaking news right here on Bradshaw Live. We are on top of it, and we are reporting it as it's happening.
As it's happening.
That's what we do.
We almost tried to do the live feeds from the choppers.
That's what we try to do. We will have a Bradshaw Live
chopper soon.
Okay, we will be doing that. We are right now circling Jeff Mosey's house. He is making a turkey and basting it as we speak.
While watching Anna Banana in the background.
Exactly. Oh my God, Tamika Nelson is on her way to work. We are in the Bradshaw chopper, checking it all out. Wouldn't that be great?
I'm going to go ahead and volunteer to not be in the Bradshaw chopper.
You don't want to be in the Bradshaw chopper?
I already see how it's going to be like, hey, Kim, thanks for coming in today. Also, here's a helicopter. No, no.
No Bradshaw chopper.
No.
Okay. So, Trump, let's see. Trump says he's going to use the military at the border to protect us from the border.
That's really the best place our military should be
well,
right now.
well, Well, I mean, it's good because they won't have a lot to do there.
Right.
Okay.
Twiddling thumbs.
They'll be twiddling their thumbs against the caravans of people. I don't know about that.
You know what looks like a caravan? Those border patrol officers.
Yeah.
That looks like a caravan.
Yeah, I don't know. By the way, President Putin of Russia, he has announced he will be visiting the White House. He seems to know before anybody else. How is that?
Is that the first time?
You know, the announcement came from Putin. How does he know this?
It's his underground tunnel to the White House.
How does this happen? How does Putin know? Make the announcement. I did say he is the most. He called up, Donald, I will be coming to visit. Okay.
Sounds good, sir.
He decides. Sounds good. Okay, sounds good.
Also, that last picture really looks like a picture from their engagement shoot.
Let me see. What picture? I didn't see that. What was the picture? Let me see.
Oh, see, that's beautiful. But there's one where like
that's special.
God, they love each other.
That is very special.
Putin's looking at him with like the dreamy eyes.
Da, 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 da. Come aboard. It looks like they're joining the Love Boat. You know, we're expecting you. The Love Boat. Let's see that picture again. Don't you see them like taking a cruise somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
the Love Boat. You know, Charo. We need to get Charo on our show
so that she can
do Coochie Coo. Remember the Love Boat?
I do. I remember Charo.
Yeah. How do you remember all this old stuff? Because you were not born at the time.
No, but it's how I learned about American culture. Like when I first moved here, I was
you just watched old TV shows.
And so I watched old TV to learn to catch up.
All right, so we're going to be taking your immigration questions right now. Call 1-800-529-5465. We got an action-packed show for you today. 1-800-529-5465. Immigration judge are going to be getting quotas. We're going to talk about that more tomorrow. And all this other stuff, I think we'll talk about this tomorrow. Call 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call to get on our show. You want immigration questions answered? We got answers. 1-800-529-5465. I would be also remiss to tell everybody to please, I'm going to beg you, okay? Now, what can I do to encourage people to share this with their friends and family? What can I say? What can I do? I already said I will do a flip off this if we get to 350 live views at the same time.
Oh, I got to keep you accountable.
I've already said I will do the flip. What more can I do other than tell people sharing is caring? Nobody seems to care anymore.
Right.
Nobody likes it. We have looked at our sharing numbers. They are going down the tubes.
They are.
Okay? They are going down faster than Trump is getting impeached. Okay? They are going down faster than Michigan in the second half of last night's game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, they lost. Okay? Our share numbers are going down faster.
Right.
Than what?
Going down
faster
than an Olympic skier down the downhill slope.
Than Stormy Daniels on a date with Trump. But
no.
We're going down faster than what? No, we don't want to say that. Time out. Going down faster. Come on, Kim, you're the comedian. Going down faster than.
See, I'm only going to inappropriate things.
Okay, no.
See, that's what I'm saying. I just timed you out. I can't time myself out.
All right, so please share, folks, with your friends and family. Please share, and you do it by taking your thumb, taking your finger, pressing a button, and sharing it to your friends and family's timeline. We're here to help you with your immigration questions. That's what we want to do there. And by the way, this is how you share. We show this video. We show this video every day. There's me. There's Belgium Kim. There's lots of people giving their I guess emoji likes, their love to us. Yep. And then also there was one person in that video who took out their phone and shared it. But if everybody was to share this with their friends and family right now, I guarantee you that within 3 or 4 days you're going to see me doing a flip off this table. I'm going to do it live. I keep saying I'm going to do it.
I think that's what you need to keep reminding people.
I will just remind them that I'm going to flip.
That's what I think is going to be the selling point.
Now, when I do it, it's going to be a quiet flip. It's not going to be a loud, boisterous flip because, first of all, I have to take my microphone off so nobody will hear anything I say. So when I land and I yell, Holly!
Right.
They won't hear me curse the world out. when I land on my bum and break my
I was going to say,
leg.
I thought you were going to be quiet because you were going to be graceful like a gymnast.
No, I will not be graceful like a gymnast. All right, 1-800, but you will see me do it. So please, everybody, share this with your friends and family. We're asking you, we're begging you, we're pleading for you. I'm going to risk my life to get you to share by doing a flip off the table.
That is definitely going to risk your life.
I will. That's a risk of my life.
That's definitely.
It's definitely a risk of my life.
Absolutely.
All right, 1-800-529-5465 is the number to call to get your immigration questions asked and answered. 1-800-529-5465. And by the way, I didn't say hello to everybody today because we were, when we got on the air, I didn't know what was going on with YouTube, and just when we got on, we saw that the woman was shot. We didn't know if this was going to be an ongoing story, and we were going to follow it during the whole entire show.
Right.
But thank God it is over. Hello, Simone, Dawn Harriet, Marge Higgs, Natalie Williamson, Jacqueline Martin. Who else we have to say hello to here? Melanie Jarrett, Lisa Bling Rose, Natalie Williamson. I said twice. Simone Garraway, hello. Dane Williams all the way out in Atlanta. Lisa Bling Rose, Denisha John, who said the nicest thing about us, said we have the best show ever yesterday.
did.
She's the best. Christy Consali, who's probably watching on every possible feed, because I know she's a dual watcher. Kakush Burke, hello. And who else is Nicola Robertson? Is that a new name? Sweet Destiny Hansel. Is that a new name?
No, we know Sweet Destiny.
We know Sweet Destiny?
We know Sweet Destiny
Hello,
well.
Sweet Destiny Hansel. Hansel and Gretel, but she's Hansel. Paulette Rowe, how are you? Beverly Thompson. Allie Boo, I love that name. Allie Boo Harris Morgan, hello. Val Thomas. Sean Chin. Hey, Brad. Is Sean Chin a new name?
That is a new name.
That could be a new name.
That is a new name.
Hello, Sean, and welcome to the Brad Squad. Dawn Harriet, Shireen Webster, and of course, Barbara Lord, Carlette Harrison, Tamika Nelson, Cheryl Blake, Kirk Brown. As our Brad Squad gets bigger and bigger,
This takes
longer and longer.
more and more time.
By the time we get more viewers, it'll be like the entire show. It's just
It'll
me
be a
saying,
4-hour
it'll be a
show,
4-hour
the
show. The
first
first 2
2
hours is me saying hello to people. All right, 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. We have Miss Petty in San Francisco, California. Miss Petty. Miss Pretty. Pretty.
Hi.
Pretty.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, Pretty. How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Because right now there is an ongoing petition in my behalf. But then I work as a caregiver. But then, unfortunately, I just learned from my attorney back in Southern California that the facility wherein they petitioned me, they sold it to another company already.
Right.
So it's really a big problem.
It's a big problem because you have to start all over from scratch again. If it's a new company that takes over, so when there's a change in corporate structure, unfortunately, you got to start from scratch again. And I know you're waiting years and years, and it's very unfair. The only time you don't have to start from scratch again is if they buy the assets and continue the corporation, which that's not going to happen in a nursing home or a hospital. So unfortunately, you kind of got screwed. You're a registered nurse?
Actually, no, I'm a dentist.
You're a dentist?
Yeah.
Are you on an H-1B visa?
No.
You've overstayed as a dentist. You have a license to practice dentistry?
Back in the Philippines, but not here.
Okay. So then this is what I would suggest you do, okay? Let's put you on hold, and let's, if you start again and you're going to be, for example, you're from the Philippines, so the Philippines has their own waiting list. Let me pull it up a second here. Okay, and you're getting sponsored in a job, and the waiting list for April 2018, I'm pulling it up. It's usually here, but somebody took it off here it is. So for the Philippines, if you get sponsored as a skilled worker from the Philippines, they're up to January 1st, 2017. So when did you start the job sponsorship?
October of 2016. Actually,
So
my
have you
attorney
filed your adjustment of status?
I think we are about to apply for the change of status already.
Okay.
Actually,
because
my attorney told me-
the only time that you can change employers, and this would be a change of employers because somebody bought the place, is if your adjustment is filed and it's been pending more than 180 days. Then there's a law called AC 21. Yeah, I know a lot of stuff. And that allows you to change your employer and still complete the case. But if not, you got to start again. Now, the only thing I can suggest is it's because you're a dentist and you're a professional, okay, and you have a master's degree in dentistry, if that's what in fact you're being sponsored in, maybe you're being sponsored in something else, I'm not sure. But the EB2 category for the Philippines, which are master degree professionals, that category is current. There's no waiting list. So if you in fact have to redo your case again, and we can figure out a way to qualify you in the EB2 category, you won't have much of a wait. Now I know it's still very frustrating for you, and that doesn't make you any happier. But that's the best news I can give you. And the only other thing I would tell you is the quicker you restart the case, the quicker you get a green card. So hold on 1 second, okay? Hold on.
Okay.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call to get on our show. And we have Raul from Chicago, Illinois. Raul.
Hi, good morning, Brad.
How are you? It's a good evening.
It's good.
It's good evening where I am, unless I think it's good afternoon in Chicago, unless I'm mistaken that you're in Chicago, India, or something. I don't know, but Chicago, Illinois, it's afternoon. What's up?
I'm so excited to talk to you. Anyway,
no problem.
I have been a RN since 2016. But the thing is, I overstayed my visa when I came in 2013. I'm trying to get a petition, but nobody will petition me, even if I'm an RN already. I'm an RN in Illinois and also in New York. What I did was...
This is your issue with an RN. Let's assume you do find somebody to sponsor you, and there are people who will sponsor RNs if you look hard enough. You know, the biggest issue that you have is how do you get your green card at the end of the case? If you overstayed your visa, what kind of visa did you overstay on?
B1, B2.
Okay. So because you overstayed your visa, are you from the Philippines, Raul?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So because you're from the Philippines and you overstayed your visa, you would have to go back to Manila for 10 years. So that's your problem if you get sponsored in a job. Do you have your parents here in the United States?
No.
A spouse?
No. No, I'm here alone.
You're here alone. Yeah, so a job spot, the reason why no one's going to sponsor you is because you would have to go back to the Philippines for 10 years to pick up your green card, and no one's going to wait for you for 10 years in the Philippines for you to come back. So you getting sponsored in a job isn't going to work, simply because you're never going to get your green card. The only way you're going to get a green card through a job sponsorship, if you've overstayed your visa, is if you overstayed on a student visa or a J visa, your 245I, which means that you had something filed before April 30th, 2001, or you have parents or a spouse here that you can do a provisional waiver through. What I would suggest you do, Raul, is hold on and let's find other avenues for you and let's have a consultation. All right, let's go to Mohammed in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mohammed.
Hi, good evening.
How are you, Mohammed?
Yes, doing good. Thank you.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's very nice. It's, a snow day today.
It's a snow day for you in Minnesota? Is that what you said?
Yes, all the day snowing since morning.
God. We have rain here in New York. And I thought our weather was bad, but it's better than snow in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
That's right.
Where are you from?
I am from India.
You're from India. Does it snow in India?
Yes. No. There is some part of that.
Yeah, but very rare, very rare. So it was like the first time you ever saw snow was when you came to America?
Yes.
Wow.
First time I'm experiencing this.
Okay, so what's your question?
Yeah, so my question is that I came here on this work visa on L1, and currently I have my fiancée from this Algeria, and we want to get married in the USA. So that's the reason I was thinking, what kind of visa is required for my fiancée to come here?
What type of visa do you have?
I have L1.
An L1 visa?
Yeah, L1 visa, L1B I have currently.
Okay, fine. So you're an intra-company transferee. There is no visa for an intra-company transferee to get married in America. So where is your fiance now?
She's in Algeria.
Algeria?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have to fly to Algeria, you would marry her, and then take your marriage certificate and literally walk into the U.S. Embassy the next day and get her an L visa to accompany you as a spouse to the United States.
Okay. So there is not any way to get married in the USA, right?
No. You would go to Algeria, but then the next day she would be eligible for a visa. There's nothing to do. You literally walk in and apply for it right at the U.S. Embassy.
Okay. Sure.
All right?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You were thinking like some sort of fiance visa, but there's only fiance visas for U.S. citizens, not L1Bs.
Yeah. So I was thinking that I don't know tourist visa B1 B2 will
No,
work
because you can't come on a tourist visa for the purposes of getting married.
Okay.
So you can't walk into the embassy and say, "Give me a tourist visa because I want to get married." So the best thing to do is fly to Algeria the day after you marry her. You could literally walk into the embassy and get her the visa to come back to America with you.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hold on if you need help. 1-800-529-5465. If you're shy like me, as I always like to say, you could always leave your questions on Facebook. Belgium Kim will be answering them for you. Yo-Yo is off on assignment today. I think he went fishing.
Yes.
He's fishing.
The super duper important fishing assignment.
Fishing assignment.
That's right.
We sent him fishing, but I believe he will be back tomorrow.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
He will be back tomorrow.
He will be back. To
no yo-yo today.
Showing us the catches of the day.
Yes, but no yo-yo today, but he will be back tomorrow for those who miss him. Jonathan Elias. He will be back tomorrow. But right now you can leave your questions on our Facebook page at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein and on our Facebook page at Brad Show Live. And Belgium Kim will ask your questions of me in a few minutes. If you want to be notified every time we come live and you love watching me, you can't get enough of Brad, or maybe you can't get enough of Belgium Kim, or even better, you just like the cool crowd called the Brad Squad, which is what most people like to come and watch the show for. They don't really come for me, they come for Brad Squad.
Yeah, they're more for each other.
They're more for each other at this point. So then all you got to do is like and follow Brad Show Live. If you like and follow Brad Show Live, every time we come live, you will be notified, I promise you. The other thing I got to ask, because you're going to want to see me flip off this stage.
And don't we all?
Share. Share this with your friend. Put it on his timeline. Share this with your other friend. Put it on her timeline. Share this with your cousin you haven't seen in a year. And then your cousin will text you, "Why are you sharing this with me?" Say, "Just watch, it's really good." Share it on their timeline too. Okay? Put it also on your timeline. Tell all your friends to watch this. Please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we are here to help them. The telephone number right now to call to get on our show is 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-LAW-LINK, LAWLINK. It's also the number to my law office, so if you need help, it's the same number to get on our show as the number to call to get on our show. Wait, I think I just said the same thing twice. The same number to get help through our law office, you need our legal help, is the same number to get on our show. Now I said it correctly. And that telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Tammy in Queens, New York. Tammy.
Hello?
Tammy, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good, what's up?
Well, listen, me and my wife, we want to go to Vegas, but the thing is, boss, is when my wife came, I've been here 10 years now, and we came to Florida first, and she got refused entry, but I didn't. What happened then, the cop, or the immigration officer, told us, "Go to your hotel tonight, the plane is coming back tomorrow, next plane is tomorrow, go in your hotel and come back tomorrow, and we're gonna send you back to Ireland, back to my country."
Okay.
But my wife, me and my wife just stayed here. Never went home. We stayed here 10 years now.
What is your status? What is your status?
Same thing.
Okay, you're both out of status, but you're concerned about your wife who may have had some sort of deportation against her.
Yeah, but my question is, we want to go to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We've got American driving license.
Mm-hmm.
We want to go to Vegas, fly. Do you think that that'll come again us when we go to the airport?
Well, listen, nobody can ever give you a personal guarantee. I can tell you this, there should be no reason that if you fly from New York to Las Vegas and you have valid driver's licenses that anybody would question you any more than that. Okay, there's no reason in the world. Okay, so you're not going to pop up on some sort of security checklist flying from New York to Las Vegas. Okay, you have a valid driver's license, you get on the plane, they'll check to make sure you don't have any guns and bombs on you, and you get to Las Vegas. Okay, but what I would suggest you do is, you're out of status and your wife had a problem at the airport, I would suggest you work on it and maybe make an appointment to come see us, and let's see what we can do to help you.
I will appreciate that. But do you think now that because she's got a deportation order on her head?
Every time, she has an inadmissibility order. Every time she travels, there's a risk. There's a risk sitting home that immigration comes and knocks on her door tomorrow. I don't know, okay? But I'm telling you that by traveling from New York to Las Vegas and Las Vegas back to New York, there's plenty of people who are out of status every day who get on planes with driver's licenses, with passports, go through TSA. The only reason why you would have to worry is if you get pulled off the line because something looks weird and they look into your wife and they realize there's an issue. So nobody could ever give you a personal guarantee that it's 100% certain that she will go from New York to Las Vegas and Las Vegas back. But I will tell you, the odds of anything bad happening to either one of you are extraordinarily small.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
All right, and hold on, and I think you should make an appointment. That's really what you should do. Okay, so hold on. All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Mr. Chin in West Hempstead. Mr. Chin is on the phone.
Hello, hi.
How are you, Mr. Chin?
How are you?
Good. What's up?
Very good. I came by last Wednesday and I saw Shannon. And I told her I had my depositions in front of me to show her.
Dispositions.
Yes. I had, in 2000, criminal possession of a weapon, 3rd degree. PL 265.02.
Okay.
So I want to file for my green card. I had my green card. I went to Jamaica in 2004 to my grandmother's funeral, and they took my green card from me. My status is good right now. I'm on unemployment. I'm getting unemployment benefits. So I guess my status is good. What should I do? Can I apply for my green card? Can I do the I-90?
When did you get your green card?
Me and my mom, we came here in 1987.
Yeah. Well, a gun possession is a deportable offense.
Right. Yes.
So every time with a gun possession, you apply for your green card, you run the risk of being put in deportation. It's not a crime of moral turpitude just possessing a gun. It's not an aggravated felony possessing a gun, so you're also eligible for citizenship. If that's all you have, okay, and you're going to put yourself through the system of fingerprinting, letting immigration take a look at your case and determining whether or not they want to put you in deportation, I'd rather see you do your citizenship and get it over with than do your green card and then have to go through it a second time. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to give you any advice right now because we still have to figure out what equities you have in the United States. Why I say that is this, okay? You have to weigh everything. You have a deportable offense. They can put you in deportation. So we got to think ahead of time. Okay, this guy has a gun possession. He's been here since '87. He has a gun possession in 2000. You have anything else, or that's it?
I have like a thing with my ex-wife. I'm gonna read you the number. It's a PGPL 240.
All right, there's a disorderly conduct. All right. So I assume this is New York you're reading me, because if you're reading me Montana penal laws, that could be wrong. Okay, fine. All right, New York. Okay, fine. Just double checking. All right. So you had some fight with your wife that turned into a disorderly conduct. That's cool. When did that happen?
March the 5th, 2013.
Are you still with your wife?
No, we've been separated since 2011.
Okay. So you're not going to file your citizenship at least till you have 5 years from the end of that case. So you're coming. We're in April 2018. That's 5 years already. Wow. Okay. So you have 5 years of good moral character. Now this is what a good lawyer thinks through before they file your citizenship, and thinks through it not only in his or her own head, but thinks through it with you, the client. Okay? So what we have to think through is this. One of three things are going to happen when you file your citizenship. Okay? Let's go repeat ourselves here. You've been here since 1987 with a green card. You have a gun possession in 2000, a disorderly conduct in 2013, and you're sitting here with an expired green card. You're still a lawful permanent resident in 2018. You're here 25, 30 years, whatever, 87 to, 30 years. 31 years you're here in the United States. So one of three things, okay? One, can they make you a citizen? And the answer is yes, because you have 5 years good moral character and you have no aggravated felonies. So the law says you're entitled to become a citizen. Now, two other outcomes can happen. Second outcome is they can deny your citizenship. They can say you don't have good moral character because you have this disorderly conduct, or you have a deportable offense in 2000. But quite frankly, it's more both of those happen more than 5 years since we would be filing your citizenship. And if they were to deny you on that basis, I would suggest we appeal, and I would suggest we would win that appeal because you are eligible for your citizenship. The only way they can deny your citizenship lawfully is to literally put you in deportation. Say, Mr. Chin, you got this gun possession in 2000. We're going to put you in deportation. We're going to run you through the ringer. So what I have to think about, and what Shannon has to think about, and what you have to think about is, okay, let's say they do this. What are the odds that they literally can deport you? Well, you're eligible for cancellation of removal. That means you've been here for more than 7 years. Your deportable offense happened more than 5 years after you got your green card. And as long as you can show hardship to yourself and your family, if you were deported, and all else being equal, you can show you're a person of good moral character today, you would win that case. Now, those are what's called equities. You know, other equities would be, do you work? Do you pay your taxes? Are you generally a person of good moral character? Do you help in the community? These are all things that there's no way in the world, unless I spent about 30 minutes with you sitting here, which I can't because we got other people to do.
I understand, Brad.
Okay, so let me finish. So let's assume you got a really strong case. Okay? Let's assume you got a strong case with lots of equities, you're cancellation eligible. Do you know who also knows that? When we file your citizenship, if you have a good lawyer, the Immigration Service knows that as well. So now they have to think, if we put Mr. Chin in deportation, are we going to get him deported, or are we just going to be wasting our time? Because we got a lot of people to deal with here. You know, it's like a prosecutor who says, I'm going to drop the charges because I can't get a conviction. So if immigration officers convinced that, and it goes up to a supervisor in the citizenship interview, that there's no way they can deport you, then they're going to make you a citizen because they're not going to waste immigration's time. They're going to try to deport the next guy who's easier to deport, who may not have as many equities. So that's what goes through our mind before we decide to tell you what to do. So if you want, what I would suggest is come back for another consultation. But I just want you to know what the process is. If you have strong equities, you do your citizenship. Hold on. All right. 1-800. How'd you like that, Kim?
I think that was an incredibly thorough answer.
Incredibly thorough.
I feel like you just gave him a whole consultation.
I did give him a whole consultation. I don't know if he was telling me the truth or not, but he said he came in at Shannon, so I gave him the consultation again.
I know, and I told him he was in really good hands with Shannon because he commented as well.
Yeah, Shannon's fantastic.
You are in good hands, sir.
Now, you want to hear some good news? We got some good news.
Oh, I would love good news.
You want some good news?
I need some good news right now. Yes.
Yes. I got some good news, and it's not I save 15% on my car insurance.
Oh,
it is not.
Well, then it's going to be a letdown. I feel like I was ready for that.
I got good news. All right, number one, for everybody who is on hold, or if you're shy, leave all of your immigration questions with Belgium Kim. In about 15 minutes or so, we're going to be answering all of your social media questions. I promise you. Leave them with Belgium Kim right now. For those who have fingers on either hand, unless both your hands were chopped off, maybe your JPP, even he has 8 fingers, he would be able to do it.
Right.
Okay, you know who he is? He's the guy who blew his hand up, the ex-giant. He's now somewhere else on the fireworks.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so if you have fingers, please share this with your friends and family. If you also have fingers, please like and follow Bradshaw Live. You'll get notified every time we go live. So all the people out there with fingers, that's you, unless you are like Captain Hook. and he even has a hook.
I was gonna say that
He has
means that
a
you would
hook.
have
He has
two
like a
hooks.
hook. He can do it, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
No one has an excuse,
There's no
basically.
excuse.
Please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we're here to help you, and we're going to be answering their and your immigration questions in about 15 minutes. Just leave your questions with Belgium Kim. I promise you we're going to be answering it. But in the meantime, you may have remembered back in October, I had spoken with specialist Hector Barajas. Do you remember him?
Yeah,
He was the guy. He got deported.
Yes.
I should be looking this way. He got deported. I'm an itch. Okay, he got deported. I'm crazy today.
What's in your coffee cup?
I don't know what's in my coffee today. All right, he got deported. All right, after living in the United States, there he is. He was a former military.
Right.
Okay, he was in the 82nd Airborne Division. He was deported after serving a 3-year sentence for an aggravated felony. He was deported back to Tijuana in 2004. He tried to re-enter the United States to see his daughter, who was a U.S. citizen.
Right.
Got deported a second time, was barred for life. Okay, grew up in the United States, served in the active military during wartime.
Right.
And never thought he would ever be able to come back. Well, guess what? Governor Jerry Brown of California pardoned him. And the United States just gave him his citizenship.
Oh my God.
It's a great story because how many people ever get deported and then ultimately become a U.S. citizen? It's very few.
It's wonderful.
Very, very few. So we had him on our show, A, to congratulate him, and B, hear his story. It's an amazing story because how many people literally get deported and then become citizens? Watch. So many of you may remember Specialist Hector Barajas on our show from last October. Hector served in the U.S. military. He was honorably discharged. He served in the 82nd Airborne Division between 1995 and 2001. But after he served as a lawful permanent resident who was living in the United States since he was a young child, after he served, he came back to America. He had some post-traumatic stress syndrome. He was in a car. Somebody shot a gun out of the car. It was not Hector. But he was still convicted because he was in the car. He served several years in jail. He was deported after honorably serving in the U.S. military. He tried to re-enter the United States. He did because he wanted to raise his U.S. citizen-born child. He was caught in the United States in 2009. He was deported back to Mexico again, where he believed he was going to be living for the rest of his life. He had applied for a pardon from Governor Jerry Brown in 2017. He is the governor of California. Governor Jerry Brown granted him the pardon, and recently Hector applied for his U.S. citizenship based on the fact that he was honorably serving in the U.S. military during times of hostility. He has just discovered, just in the last few days, that in fact his U.S. citizenship application was approved and that he is now a U.S. citizen of the United States of America. It is some story, Hector, with some unbelievable ending. All I can tell you is congratulations. I was just saying to you right before we got on the air that when we last spoke in October, if we roll back the tape, we would see me saying, Hector, I think you're going to become a U.S. citizen. How do you feel, Hector?
Well, I'm very excited, and it's still, it still seems kind of unreal until I'm actually over there.
Right. So you haven't entered the United States yet. You're still in Mexico, correct?
No, I'm waiting for the 13th, and then I actually do the oath ceremony, and that'll be completed, and then I guess they give me a certificate,
Yep.
and then I'm free.
And then you apply for your U.S. passport, and you can do that overnight if you want to. So I guess once you come into the United States of America, that I guess, or maybe even at your oath ceremony, maybe it'll feel more real. It doesn't feel real yet to you because I guess you've gone through so much.
Yeah, it doesn't seem real. It's very rare that somebody that gets deported gets U.S. citizenship. That had a criminal conviction. Actually, as far as I know, there's really nobody from Mexico that's happened for yet. So we're talking about millions of people, and so to me, and I've seen so many cases. It's very rare, so it does seem unreal, and I can't wait to be home and see what happens.
Well, certainly you deserve it. And I will point out that it is extraordinarily rare for anybody to be able to naturalize who has been ordered deported previously. You're actually the first person that I'm aware of that actually it happened to. Maybe it happened to other people. There are people who got deported who entered the United States as U.S. citizen as children whose parents became citizens while they were children, and they got deported and didn't realize they were citizens, and my office has helped prove that they were citizens and that the United States deported a citizen wrongfully. But I have never heard a story of a person who got deported with a green card, was deported lawfully as a lawful permanent resident, left the United States, never becoming a citizen, and then applying for U.S. citizenship and then ultimately getting it. And it's amazing, amazing story that probably we should have you back again if you will give us the time, and we could go through that entire story. That's a whole other segment. But we're really here today to congratulate you. And I know that we have a little video of you when you discovered from the USCIS, you got the decision approving your citizenship. Let's watch.
14 years, man. Coming home, Mom.
So tell me, how did it feel at that moment? Was it surreal? Was it like the greatest feeling you ever had, or was it anticlimactic? When at that moment, how did it feel? Was it sad? Was it poignant? Tell me how you felt at that second.
Yeah, it was very surreal. Nathan came in and had this poker face, and he's like, and he gave me the speech about, we're always going to fight for you guys no matter what happens. I'm like, oh, God, because they already knew the decision.
Oh, I see.
So I was like, really,
right.
So I was really like, oh, my God. And then when he told me, I was just like, oh, my God. And I read it, and like, oh.
And Nathan is who? I don't know who Nathan is. Was that
so
your attorney?
Nathan Fletcher is he's a U.S. Marine. He's part of the steering committee, honorably discharged and discarded, which I'm part of the steering committee, and he helped also put in the pardon for the Governor Jared Brown. So he's one of our advocates.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. So I heard you say, "I'm coming home, Mom." Was Mom watching?
Yeah.
Was Mom watching at that moment?
No, it just came out. Like,
it just came out. Just came out. Just came out. That was like the first thing that came. And you have your daughter here as well, right?
Yes, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and she also found out. My mom already told her. I told her to keep it under wraps, but then she told her, and my daughter, she actually wanted to celebrate with my mom, so her mom drove her all the way to Compton and they both, cried, and they were very happy. So
it's amazing, and she must be extraordinarily excited. So your citizenship ceremony, you said, is what day?
It's April 13th at 10 a.m., and it looks like they're gonna give me a special permit to cross, and they're actually gonna escort me. They won't let me just go on my own. So
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Wow. But you're going to be entering the United States as a U.S. citizen. So what is the first thing? You've been outside. You grew up in the United States. It's really the only country you knew as a child. You served honorably in the military. You've now been out of the United States for a total of, I guess, 8 or 9 years, 17 in total?
8 or 9 years.
Right.
Yes.
8 or 9 years.
Legally 14.
What are you going to do? What's the first thing you're going to do when you cross over?
Thank God.
Besides smell the air, I guess it's the same air in Mexico. It's no different. But what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna thank God because my faith is growing, but also, I can't wait to be with my daughter and hug her. And then as far as like everybody's asking me like, what? I guess what are you gonna, what do you miss? And food, like. You'd be surprised. Taco Bell, Benihana rice.
What Taco Bell? You've been in Mexico. Aren't you tired of Mexican food? I understand Benihana, but Taco Bell? That's funny. But that's what you want. Bell. You miss Taco Bell. All right, you want your burritos.
Yeah. So things like that.
Okay, well, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's an unbelievable story. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Hector started and runs the Deported Veterans Support House, which helps veterans who were deported from the United States reacclimate themselves to the country that they're being deported to. He has his office there in Tijuana, Mexico. What is going to happen with your office in Mexico? How is this organization going to continue now that you're a U.S. citizen?
I made a commitment I made a commitment for another year because part of my advocacy is what helped me get home. So I can't just up and leave these men in my work. I live here 24/7. So
right.
The doors aren't closing. I'm going to stay here for another year, go back and forth. I know my family will understand, my daughter. And, I really believe in leaving no man behind. And I work with dreamers, moms, dreamers. And I think my life, my thoughts on immigration are a little bit different now. And just got to continue my work. But definitely eventually I want to, have a job, go to school, pay, take care of, daddy's bills and responsibilities, and that's important. But one more year and get the nonprofit going and get fundraising and all these good things,
And then hopefully you could have somebody who's well trained to take over for you and be the mouthpiece moving forward. I guess that's the plan. And in the meantime, you're just like any other American who has to travel for work, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's to be a 9-to-5 job for me, and something that I love. And if I could do this for life, I'd continue to do this.
Now you said that you. What are we looking at there? Oh, that's the. What are we looking at here? What is this video of?
That's Friendship Park. I've been going to Friendship Park for almost 7 years, and that's the wall that divides the United States and Mexico, and that's where the families meet at. So that was the last time that I will be. Next time I'm going to be on the other side.
You're going to be on the American side of it.
American side, and this was the last time that, there's that physical barrier that always reminded me each weekend that we were there. But now it's just a reminder, but there's also, it really was a paperwork and bureaucracy that's keeping me from being in the United States. But now it's I look at that wall a little bit different as far as what's keeping me, it'll be different, but it's still a reminder of not just myself, but, millions of people.
Just for everybody out there who's watching our show, they may be saying, how did Hector become a U.S. citizen if he got deported? Well, two things happened. One is that Governor Jerry Brown pardoned him. So he no longer had a criminal record, an aggravated felony, which barred him from becoming a citizen. If you have an aggravated felony after November 1990, you're barred from naturalizing. And then the other thing is there is a law that says that if you were an active member of the armed forces and you were honorably discharged during times of hostilities, and Hector was there during times of hostilities, it was the Persian Gulf era, you are entitled to naturalize if you have 1 year's good moral character. And that's what he did, and that's ultimately how he was able, I presume, I didn't work on the case, but that's ultimately how I presume he was able to become a citizen. Now, Hector, you just said that, you now have a different thought process about, people who get deported, people who need second chances, having lived it yourself, and that is why you started your organization. And Governor Jerry Brown recently pardoned 5 other people who were ultimately going to be deported. And Donald Trump weighed in on this. I'm going to give you his tweet. This was from March 31st, and I'll ask you for your reaction to this. He wrote on March 31st, Donald Trump, Governor Jerry Moonbeam Brown pardoned 5 criminal illegal aliens whose crimes include 1, kidnapping and robbery, 2, badly beating wife and threatening a crime with intent to terrorize, 3, dealing drugs. Is this really what the great people of California want? At Fox News. What do you think of that?
Well, I believe this is. He also did the second chance month.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of a little irony there, but the United States is a country of second chances, and our country's imperfect. We've screwed over the American Indians, African Americans, but the United States. One of the things that I love about the United States is that it's always fixed what's wrong. At least I've seen that. In history, throughout history. So there's nothing wrong with second chances and opportunities for immigrants, for people that have changed their lives, and we're a nation, or rather world, made up of imperfect human beings that make mistakes all the time. Unfortunately, some of us, like myself, make really bad choices, that could have really bad, situations. But, it's that was 14 years ago. So
you know, the one thing that Donald Trump leaves out is the facts that go with each of these cases. For example, Donald Trump could have tweeted about you, Governor Jerry Brown just pardoned a man and could have killed many, many people. Is this what the people of California want? When he could have also tweeted at the same time, Governor Jerry Brown just pardoned a man who honorably served in the military and is leaving behind an 11-year-old U.S. citizen child, had nothing to do with shooting this gun, and was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and was actually suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after having been released from the military. So, I mean, you could change facts to what serves you. And I'll tell you what Governor Jerry Brown kind of reiterated what you just said in a tweet to the @RealDonaldTrump. And this was just yesterday. He wrote, "This month we celebrate those who have exited the prison system and successfully re-entered society. We encourage expanded opportunities and emphasize our belief in second chances for all who turn their lives around," and then put the website of Donald J. Trump's proclamation, the webpage of his proclamation, which he says during the month of April, we want to give everybody a second chance. And I'm quoting what Donald Trump wrote. He said, "Affording those who have been held accountable for their crime an opportunity to become contributing members of society is a critical element of criminal justice that can reduce our crime rates and prison populations, decrease burdens to the American taxpayer, and make America safe." So, what we're seeing here is, obviously Donald Trump being hypocritical as usual. So let me ask you this. I know you have a lot to do and get ready for your upcoming citizenship, and it's very exciting. What is your message? This happened to you, and it may not happen to every deported veteran. Not every deported veteran is going to become a U.S. citizen. Hopefully some do, but many won't. What is your message? Okay, because you are heading up the Deported Veteran Support House. You have now gotten your own U.S. citizenship. What is your message to all the deported veterans and their families out there? What is your message of hope to them? And what do you tell people who don't believe anyone deserves a second chance in life, even U.S. military members?
Sure. Well, first of all, there's a couple of things that I've taken from this experience. One is citizenship isn't guaranteed through the military service. You have to apply. You have to start the process. So if you're in the military or a veteran, start the process. And also, if you're a leader, a NCO, please make sure you take care of your soldiers. Same thing for green card. There's a lot of us that got our green cards when we were children. It's not permanent. Go out there and start the process, and don't commit a crime. If you commit a crime, you could lose your green card. But also to not lose hope. Anything can happen. I would have never thought I would be in this situation. So it's good to when you get deported to accept and kind of and get yourself stable where you're at, but not never give up. Never give up on your hope to return to the United States, because anything can happen. Laws could change. Talk to some good attorneys. I was told by many people you're never coming home, and the laws change all the time. So it's just very important to continue to fight and move forward. As far as second chances, I believe in second chances. I think I matured enough to where I won't do something as stupid as back then. People make mistakes, I was involved in a criminal act, but that doesn't make me a criminal for the rest of my life. And that's all I can say.
And also, I will tell you, you served 3 years in jail. You were punished for the crime just like anybody else, and you took your punishment. What happens to people who were born in America versus people who came to America as little children, got green cards, and didn't become citizens, to me, you're the same. You grew up in America, but now you had a second punishment. Okay, you had one punishment of going to jail. You had a second punishment of now being deported and separated from your family and not being able to support them. So that's where, I think people misunderstand. When you look at deportation, although under the law it's not considered a punishment, in reality it is a punishment. So for people who are not born in America, you're getting 2 punishments instead of 1 after serving your time. And I'll say this, and just so you know, just coincidentally, yesterday we had a call on the show. It had nothing, nobody knew you were coming on our show today. And a gentleman called from Ohio and he said, Brad, what about all these deported veterans? They serve in the military. I was in the military, and many of my comrades and many of my friends who I served with in war and served and literally bullets flying over our heads, they're getting deported. What are we doing about it? And I'm going to ask you, now that you're a U.S. citizen, and now you're coming back to the United States, what, if anything, are you going to do in terms of the political process to try to change this?
I actually got a phone call from Congressman Joaquin Castro yesterday, and they're hoping that the Democrats will take back the House and that hopefully they can push some legislation, but just continue to advocate and ask for immigration reform and ask for to bring home our deported veterans. At least if we can do anything, stop the deportations and work by getting individuals home, maybe a group of people home, and just continue to try to make some changes. Actions guide us to change. So we got to put some action.
Hector, I see a Lifetime movie coming up about you soon. Okay, I'm telling you, it's an amazing story. I see a Lifetime movie about this. If there's producers out there, make a movie about this. This is an amazing story. Congratulations, Hector, and congratulations and welcome back to America.
Thank you. And I just wanted to make one clarification, especially with the military, is that I served during 9/11, so sometimes the military, like if there's something off, they'll criticize you for it. But I served after 9/11, so that's why I consider
still wartime. It was still wartime.
Yeah.
It was still wartime. All right.
Well, you guys are doing great work and just advocating and also educating people, and I think it's very important, especially when it comes to immigration, because a lot of people are misled. And there's some really bad attorneys out there.
There are some very, very bad attorneys out there. If there were a lot of good attorneys out there, I'd probably be selling real estate. But I'm here fighting the fight every day just like you. Thank you very much, Hector. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Right. See you on the other side.
Okay. It's a great story. Kim loved that story. You edited it a little bit, right?
I just pitched in a little bit, and I was in tears as I was doing it.
Yeah, Kim. Yeah, you had called me and said, "Oh my God, what a great story! I'm doing the editing of it right now."
Handle it.
Yeah, but I was just thinking when I was watching this, and I didn't really bring it up with Hector.
Yeah.
But I should bring it up next time. You don't really even need a law change for deported veterans. You just need the military to do the right thing. Okay, so when you join the military, you join for a period of time. It's not like you join for 6 months and then you're out of there. Okay, so I don't know what the requirement is, but when you join the military, it's like 2, 3, 4 year commitment, whatever it is. I think it's like a 3 or 4 year commitment you have to make. Now, what the law says is if you have a green card for more than 1 year and you're in the military, you're entitled to naturalize. Really, there's no law change that's required. The military has to do the right thing for their soldiers and make their soldiers U.S. citizens before they leave the military.
Absolutely.
And they should be able to do it because you have a 3-4 year commitment, whatever it is, to the military. So after 1 year, it should just be standard operating procedures, SOP.
Absolutely.
Okay? That everyone who has a green card should be filing for their citizenship, and you don't need a law change then.
Yeah.
And I just actually thought about that while I was watching it. I
don't understand why that's not a thing. And
it should be a thing.
Every question we got on social media is, how can a veteran get deported? And they don't even know that
because a veteran gets deported because they weren't a U.S. citizen in the United States, and they presume that they fight for the United States. They put their life on the line. That they would be automatic. It's not automatic.
Yeah.
So the military is doing the wrong thing because the military is not telling their soldiers, the people who are on the front lines protecting the United States of America, to become a citizen before they leave the military, and they should be. And you're in the military for several years, and you can do it after 1 year in the military. It should be standard operating procedure.
Absolutely, and the look of relief on his face after almost 20 years of being apart, it got to me. It got to me.
Got to you.
All
right, so now give me some Facebook questions.
Okay.
This is the time, by the way, before we start, because I just remembered I got fingers. Okay. This is the time. I just looked up. I'm like, whoa, I got fingers.
Wow.
And so do you. So let everybody know right now. Let everybody know right now that we're going to be answering their and your immigration questions on our Facebook feed at Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein and at Bradshaw Live. You can like and follow us on Bradshaw Live and get this show every day. You'll get notified by Mark Zuckerberg or somebody who works for him that we are live. And if you use your fingers right now, you can share this to your feed. You can share this to your friend's feed. I saw we had nowhere near the amount of shares that we used to get even 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask everybody again, take your fingers out and use them. You got them. Use them. You're not doing anything else, okay? Even if you're cooking, okay, and watching, you could put down that big spoon for a second and just go boom, boom. What's so hard with that? You say, oh, I'm cooking. Oh, let me put it down. Boom, boom. Okay, now I'm cooking again. All right, it's very simple. All right? So everybody please share. Sharing is caring. And the best way to share, we have a video that shows you how to share. And that video will be playing in the next 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, there it goes. Boom! 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 And that's how you share, ladies and gentlemen. You share by caring, and you share by taking out your finger and sharing it onto your timeline, sharing it onto your friend's timeline, your cousin's timeline, grandma's timeline, and also share this into groups that you may be part of, even groups that maybe have nothing to do with immigration, and just say, hey, it's a fun show. Hey, if anyone has any immigration questions, go watch. The telephone number to call right now, 1-800-529-5465. But right now, we are going to be getting to Kimmy Kim Kim Kim.
Woo woo. And Kimmy Kim Kim Kim.
Belgium Kim with your immigration questions.
And I'm going to go to Dolly. And Dolly wants to know, how long do you have to wait to become a citizen if you are married to a U.S. citizen?
It depends where you are, Dolly. So, for example, Now's the time camera operator that comes to me. There we go. All right. So, Dolly, it depends on, I didn't want you were all of a sudden who's speaking? Is God speaking? So it depends on the time. It depends on where you are. And it depends if you're in the United States, if you're eligible to adjust your status, if you're in another country. So if you're in another country, you figure it takes 12 to 15 months. Unless you're on a country that Donald Trump doesn't like, then it's probably 15 to 18 months. And you'll know if you're in a country that Donald Trump doesn't like, because all you have to do is look at your hand and see what color it is. Okay? That's the way it is, unfortunately.
Yes.
All right. Now, if you are in the United States of America, it depends what state you're in. So if you're in a state that has absolutely nothing to do with immigrants, like North Dakota or Iowa, they don't have many immigrants there, then your adjustment will be very fast, several months. If you're in a state with a high immigration population, like New York or California or Florida, it could take 9-10 months. So it depends where you are.
Jay says, in the state of Georgia, could I obtain a driver's license with just an I-797 form of a pending application?
Well, it depends what the pending application is. If it's a pending application for adjustment of status, no. If it's a pending application for a work permit that you haven't received, no. If it's a pending application to remove the conditions of your permanent residence, yes. So all an I-797 is a letter from immigration saying they received your application. What I don't know is, what the hell did you file? And then I can tell you. So give us some more information.
Vanessa would like to know, after immigration sends a letter stating that you're approved and your marriage is real, how much longer until you need to wait for your green card?
Well, assuming that you're eligible to adjust, your green card should be following within a few weeks. Assuming all is good. I mean, if you have some skeletons in your closet, then that's a different story. But assuming no skeletons, no ghouls, no
goblins.
If
it's not Halloween in your closet.
Halloween, right? It's not Halloween in your closet or in your life, then a couple weeks. But if not, then give us a call if you don't hear.
Teresa for real says, I've got questions. Mm-hmm. I'm married to a U.S. citizen and I just filed my I-751 last February, so February 28th of this year. And I've got my 1-year extension until March 5th of 2018, so we are past that. Until now, I have yet to receive a letter for my biometrics. How much longer should I expect to wait for my biometrics?
What did she file?
She filed an I-751 February 28th.
It takes 18 months, for real.
Ooh.
For real, 18 months. So if it's 18 months and you don't have anything, then definitely call me for real.
So does that mean that since her extension is up, she should be filing another extension?
No, she should just be going down to USCIS getting a stamp in her passport.
Curvins wants to know, yesterday I went to my U.S. citizenship interview, but I didn't mention a 2009 arrest. So I passed my history test, but they told me that I have to wait until a supervisor reviews my application until they make a decision. What do you think is going to happen, Brad?
I think you're going to get denied because you misrepresented yourself at your citizenship interview. When you go, you have to tell them everything. And if you didn't tell them, you're going to have a problem. Call me.
Damien says, if I was deported from the U.S., but I'm legal in Canada now after a deportation to Jamaica, am I able to return to the U.S. if there's been a death in my family?
Unfortunately, Canada is Canada, the United States is the United States, and they're two separate countries, so no.
We've got Dane, who says, after doing your biometric, how long before I get my work permit?
Should be 6 to 8 weeks, Dane. Hang in there.
Maureen says, my sister's a U.S. citizen and she received benefits from the government. Could she file for my mom to live in the U.S., or is it going to be a problem that she's receiving those benefits?
Depends what the benefits are. If they're need-based benefits, it could be a problem. If it's not need-based benefits, it shouldn't be a problem. So it depends what they are.
Sue Wong would like to know, I'm asking for my little cousin. What is the filing fee for an I-131 travel document through SIDGE? The child has been approved in family court, and they had to enter the country on a visiting visa.
When you file the adjustment application, the advanced parole and the I-765, which is your work permit, is part of the fee. You don't have to pay an additional fee for it. Just file it.
Maureen says, if I become a U.S. citizen, do I have to give up my Jamaican passport?
No, you're a dual citizen. So when you go to Jamaica, you show your Jamaican passport, say, hi, I'm home. And when you come to the United States, you show your American passport, say, hi, I'm home.
That's delightful. That's all we got for right now,
That's all you got for right now. All right, so let's go to Raina in New York, New York. Raina.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Sir, I would like to ask, my green card is going to expire in October. How long ago I can apply for a renewal?
For your green card, would you have a 2-year or a 10-year?
I'm sorry, 10 years.
You have a 10-year? You can do it 180 days before the expiration. Did you hear me? 180 days before it expires. That's when you do it. 180. 180.
So how long
he's
is
there.
it going to take for my fingerprint because I have to travel?
He's there. Your fingerprint should be like within 8 weeks of filing.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching, Raina. All right, 1-800-529-5465. By the way, here at Spar and Bernstein,
yes.
Kim, we are not just immigration.
No.
We are a full-service law firm that
all.
fights for people's dreams in every area.
Absolutely.
Okay? So we had Brittany Russell on earlier today. I spoke with her.
Ooh, the superstar.
She's fabulous.
She's a
She's like a not a superstar, rock star.
Ooh, they are cooler.
Rock star, much cooler. So she is our lead trial attorney. Moshe is also fantastic, also a fantastic trial attorney. Brittany came to discuss, she recently got a $3.2 million. $3.2 million. $3,200,000. That's the bank. That was the bank. $3,200,000 verdict she won for her client's estate.
Wow.
He became sick because he worked, this is Military Day here on the Bradshaw Live.
Mm-hmm.
He worked on a ship during the Vietnam War. And he got sick from that ship 30 years later.
Oh my God.
And won the family, the estate of the family, $3,200,000. Let's watch.
Whoa.
So we are joined today by Brittany Russell, Spar and Bernstein's lead trial attorney and personal injury attorney. Welcome, Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're going to be discussing asbestos and asbestos-related cancers as it relates to personal injury actions. As everybody knows, Brittany, or many of you know, Brittany was recently named 2017's top 40 attorneys under the age of 40 in the United States of America. She was also the first woman to ever receive Fordham Law School's prestigious Trial Advocacy Award at her law school graduation. And Brittany, you have a lot of experience with asbestos-related injuries. You have a lot of experience with many different accident cases. But let's talk a little bit about, because people always hear the word asbestos, but maybe people don't know what asbestos actually is.
Right. I think most people just know it's dangerous.
Right.
So asbestos is a mineral. It's mined from the earth. It's taken out of a mine. It comes out like a big hairy rock. It would be brought to a mill where the rock is crushed, the fibers are liberated, and then it was used at one point in the United States in over 3,000 different types of products.
You just won a verdict of $3.2 million for a person who was serving in the Navy during the Vietnam War who was exposed to asbestos. Tell us a little bit about this case.
Yeah, so my client was Scott Shays. He served in Vietnam in 1976 for 9 months. He spent working on that Scott Shays. And a moment ago we had his ship up. He was on the USS Plymouth Rock for 9 months in the year 1976. He was a machinist mate, which meant he worked down in the engine room, working on a whole bunch of different equipment, but this case centered on his work on valves.
So he was only on this ship for 9 months. That's a very short period of time in his life. Is there a certain amount of time that you become more susceptible or less susceptible to getting cancer from asbestos?
You know, it depends on the person. So it's similar to smoking in a sense. Exposure to a carcinogen, it depends on who you are. We know people who've smoked for decades and they don't get sick, or people who smoked for a short period of time and get sick. Well, with cancer, it's the same thing. Science does know that mesothelioma occurs at very low levels of exposure, but why does one person who spends 9 months on a ship exposed to asbestos, or in some medical articles, exposure as short as days, why do they get mesothelioma and somebody else who spends a whole career working with the products doesn't get mesothelioma, doesn't get any disease, or maybe gets lung cancer or asbestosis? That's a genetic predisposition that some of us have and some of us don't. But in this case, Mr. Shays did get mesothelioma, and he was exposed to several products containing asbestos component parts, and one of which was a Jenkins Brothers valve. So he worked with Jenkins Brothers valves in the machine room on the USS Plymouth Rock for 9 months, and a jury in Schenectady, New York, found that that was a substantial contributing factor in causing his mesothelioma.
Now, this happened back in the 1970s. This trial just recently happened, and you got this fantastic verdict for $3.2 million. Obviously, getting cancer through exposure to asbestos is a terrible, terrible disease. I assume that the companies didn't go down without a fight. You know, I'm sure they're saying, hey, wait a second, this happened 30 years ago, and you're suing us about a valve that was put into a ship in World War II? What was their defenses? I mean, was that one of them? And how did you counteract that to prove that they caused this man's cancer?
Right, so that certainly was one of them. The trial happened in May of 2016. So we had to go back 40 years and prove his exposure 40 years in the past, which we did. Now, they said they had multiple defenses, one of which being that he didn't actually ever work on Jenkins valves. The jury didn't believe that. They believed Mr. Shays' sworn testimony that he did work on those valves. Another defense was, well, if he did work on those valves, the exposure to asbestos from those valves, from our valves, wouldn't have been high enough to cause mesothelioma. We offered expert testimony to say that it was. And then a further defense they had was, well, we sold a metal valve and we sold it with asbestos component parts inside of it, but we sold that valve to the Navy during World War II when they first built the ship. And those replacement parts were replaced God knows how many times before Scott Shays ever went to go work on that valve.
And it wasn't, and these replacement parts didn't come from the companies that you sued.
Well, there was no way to prove where they came from because he was exposed to asbestos from the old parts that he's taking out. But the old parts aren't in their packaging anymore. So
Right.
they don't say
The name of the company.
the name of the company who made them or the name of the company who sold them.
You only knew the original company that put in the valve from World War II. After that, we don't know what replacement parts went in and what went out.
Right.
So wouldn't they just say, hey, these were not our replacement parts. We have no record of, we put in a valve in World War II. What do you want from us? These aren't our replacement parts.
Right, and they did say that. However, the law in the state of New York is that there are certain situations where even if you didn't sell the replacement part or you didn't manufacture the replacement part, you can still have a legal duty to warn about the dangers of that replacement part. And in this case, they did have a legal duty to warn about the dangers of the replacement parts because they knew that asbestos replacement parts would be used in their valve. They supplied the valve with asbestos parts in it originally. They specified the use of asbestos in their valve, and they actually manufactured the exact replacement parts that were used. Whether they manufactured the ones Scott Shays actually used or not, we don't know, but they were selling those parts and recommending them for use in their valves.
At what point, because it's a very good argument that they had a duty to warn that he's going to be dealing with asbestos and should have taken precautions. At what point do companies have the duty to warn and not warn? Where is the line? Because this company had the duty to warn from a World War II product all the way through the 70s, and a jury found them liable for $3.2 million in 2016. Where does it become reasonable to warn, and where does it become reasonable not to warn?
Well, it's a fact case-by-case specific inquiry. However, in New York State, there is a continuing duty to warn. So when you sell a product, you're not just done with it. You don't get to just throw up your hands and say, I sold it, it's gone, best of luck, Godspeed. You have an obligation to continue to warn about dangers associated with that use of the product that you then become aware of later. So I think that many of us have probably gotten letters in the mail from car companies who discover that there may be a defect with the car, and then they send us a notice to alert us because they know they sold us a car, and they have a continuing duty to warn about the dangers associated with the use of their product.
So this duty to warn goes to all products, not just asbestos related. Now, you got a verdict for this man for $3.2 million. You convinced the jury that they should award him $3.2 million for getting cancer from working on a boat during the Vietnam War for 9 months from a company that put a valve into this boat in World War II, which is in the 1940s or maybe even the 1930s. How, and this is what everybody wants to know, I know. How do you convince a jury that this case is worth $3.2 million? How come this case wasn't worth $5.2 million? How come this case wasn't worth $1 million? How does the jury determine $3.2 million?
It's a difficult thing for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, and it's the number one issue that comes up in jury selection. In this case, there was no claim for medical bills or lost wages. Mr. Shays, although he was only 58 when he died, he was retired. And so the case was just about his physical pain and suffering. It was his physical pain, his emotional pain that he experienced as he died, and the loss of the enjoyment of his life. And juries all over this country are asked to listen to evidence about somebody's suffering and then decide what it's worth. And they're not given a table or a chart or instructions from the judge that it should be between this number or that number. What they are given is an explanation that they should listen to the testimony, evaluate it, use their good common sense, and then the law in the state of New York is to come up with a number that is fair, reasonable, and adequate. And the position that I took in this case is that what is fair and reasonable and adequate can also be substantial, because if the evidence shows substantial suffering, which it did in this case, then it has to be a big award in order to be fair. And Scott Shays, first of all, he died at 58 years old, and the man went through hell before he passed away. He had 5 surgical procedures, including 1 major surgery. He went through chemo and radiation, and he just wasted away over the course of 2.5 years until he ultimately lost his battle with this cancer. And so the jury heard testimony from both doctors about what the clinical course of the disease of mesothelioma is like, and then they heard human testimony from his family members about how horrible this was. They saw pictures of him. They heard from him in videotaped testimony that we'd taken. And at the end of the case, they concluded that there had been substantial suffering. And, you know, a conservative jury in Schenectady, New York, decided that the value of what he went through was $3.2 million.
Why was the case in Schenectady, New York? That's way upstate New York, right?
Right.
Why did it end up there?
He lived there.
That's where he lived?
Right.
Okay. And the juries are not known in Schenectady, New York for giving multi-million-dollar verdicts.
They're not, but the lesson here is that if there is a plaintiff who has suffered, you could bring that case in Schenectady, New York, and when they hear the evidence of outrageous suffering, they're going to do what's just.
They're going to award you appropriately. Right here on the 5th floor at Spar and Bernstein at 225 Broadway is a valve that was manufactured by Jenkins & Company, the same exact company that Brittany Russell won a $3.2 million verdict in Schenectady, New York for her client who was exposed to asbestos from this valve.
So inside this valve are parts. Some of those parts need to be replaced with routine maintenance. This valve's not in operation, so these parts could have never been replaced. I have no idea.
But on a World War II ship, on a ship that valves, water's going through these valves every day. Or steam, they need to be replaced on a regular basis. And that's when your client opened up the valve and became exposed to asbestos.
That's exactly right. And there would have been, in Scott Shay's case, there was asbestos in 3 places on a valve like this. There was asbestos on the outside of the valve to insulate the valve so that nobody would burn themselves on it. Then there was asbestos in 2 places inside the valve. There would have been asbestos packing inside the body of the valve, a rope packing, and there were asbestos gaskets. For example, there would have been an asbestos gasket over here called the bonnet gasket that Scott Shays testified he had to remove routinely and replace.
And every day, routinely, he was exposed to it over a 9-month period, which ultimately caused his cancer.
Right.
And how do you know this is Jenkins Brothers who manufactured this?
I know that it's Jenkins Brothers the same way Scott Shays knew it was Jenkins Brothers, which is Jenkins Brothers was nice enough to put their logo right on the body of the valve.
So now, somebody who's watching this today who works on valves or maybe in plumbing, how would they protect themselves?
Well, the first question is there asbestos component parts with the valves they're working with? If there's not, then they don't have an asbestos problem.
What happens if you don't know?
Well, that's the whole point. There should be a warning to tell them. And if you don't know, you should find out and wear a respirator or don't do the work.
Well, fantastic job, Brittany. And for anybody out there who really needs a wonderful, fantastic, really special lawyer who's going to fight for you, Brittany Russell. 1-800-529-5465. Obviously, prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome, but a fabulous, fabulous job representing this gentleman. Unfortunately, he did lose his life, but and money doesn't bring him back to life, and it doesn't mitigate his suffering, and it doesn't mitigate the loss that his family did. And all you can do is ask for money, and that's all you can do. And you did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
You know, I put my money where my mouth is. I got into a car accident, and I have the Spar and Bernstein attorneys motion Brittany working on it. I could have went to anybody. I didn't even have to tell anybody I got into an accident.
Right.
I could have went to the lawyer down the street if I thought that was going to be the best lawyer. And I hired who I thought was going to be the best lawyer.
Absolutely.
Motion Brittany.
You went for the best.
That's right. So if you are injured in an accident, whether it's construction accident, you work somewhere at a construction site, God forbid you or your family member gets hurt, or if an auto accident, you work with asbestos and you would know if you got sick because you would get some sort of cancer, God forbid, or any type of injury, please keep us in mind at 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-529-5465, 800-529-5465. All right, so with that, we have about 20 minutes to go here. We got Becky, who has been on hold from Las Vegas, Nevada, for about 10 minutes. Let's go to Becky. Becky, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
Fabulous. What's going on?
Awesome. I have a question that I would like to point out. I'm married. Me and my husband is about to put in our documents, our papers, but I have a son. I have a son who has a 10-year visa.
Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with guns these days. I thought you said, but I have a gun. And I'm like, whoa, put the gun down. You have a son. Okay, that's a big difference. You have a son. Where is your son?
My son is in Jamaica.
Okay, how old is he?
He's 13.
Okay, so your husband can file for him separately.
We have to file for him separately, so
Yes.
it wouldn't be possible for us to put in our document with his?
No, you do two separate applications, but they go at the same time. So one application, you're here in the United States, you're going to file an adjustment of status application. Now, on the I-130 visa petition, on the I-45, it asks, what's the name of your children? You're going to list all your children, including your 13-year-old son. But that doesn't include him on the case. That's just you answering a question. And you're going to put in the adjustment.
Okay.
Now...
Okay, so... I'm sorry. You want to travel in the summer, so even if I put in the document, would that be a problem?
Yes, because once you put in the documents for him and he travels, he's committing perhaps a misrepresentation because you've shown an intent for him to live here, and he's traveling on a visitor's visa. So, once you put in the paperwork for him, you're going to travel. You're going to travel back to Jamaica to see him on an advance parole. And you're going to file an I-130 visa petition for him separately. That's going to be through your husband. So there's going to be one I-130 by your husband for your son and a separate adjustment for you. They're both going to go in at the same time, but they're two separate applications. And it takes a little over a year for your son to get here. So when you get your advance parole, I would suggest you travel to see him, that he doesn't travel to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty, you answered my question, and thank you so much.
And by the
for
way, even in Las Vegas, we can handle your case. So if you need help, hold on one second, okay? All right. 1-800-529-5465. That's the same number for our immigration department. It's the same number for our personal injury department. It's also the same number to get on our show. 1-800-529-5465. And Kim, we got about, 15, 17 minutes to go.
Yep.
We have a lot of questions here.
They keep coming in.
They just
keep rolling in.
Roll it in.
So
rolling.
Wait, which rolling were you doing?
I was doing rawhide.
Yes.
Good.
Okay,
All right, we're
cool.
on the
We were
same
doing.
thing. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah, nobody knows what we're talking about. Okay.
Most of the time, I don't know what we're talking about, so it's okay. I'm gonna jump right into these. Dathan says, I have a friend who's been here for 20 years and her asylum was just denied. But she cannot go back to her home country of Rwanda because genocide wiped out her entire family. What can she do?
Apparently, there's a judge who says she can go back. So I don't know where she is, but she better come see us. Because, if your asylum was denied, then they're saying you can go back.
You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. And apparently she's not going to be fine.
Right.
Okay, so we got to convince a judge or somebody somewhere she ain't going to be fine.
She's not going to be fine.
I don't know. We got to see what she's got going there.
Sean says, if someone's priority date is May 23rd of 2013, how long do they have to wait? She's over the age of 21, unmarried, and was filed for by a citizen mother.
They're up to, drum roll please.
I always do the low-key one until we get the big one.
There we go. April 8th, 2011, so that means it's 2 more years.
2 more years.
Yes.
Pauline says, could you file for citizenship after 5 years of having your green card, but you didn't file taxes last year?
If you worked last year and didn't file your taxes, go file them now. If you didn't work, then you just got to show how did you support yourself without filing taxes.
Raina says, how long ago could I renew my green card?
How long ago?
That's everything I got, Brad. I read it to you verbatim.
It depends. If you have a 2-year conditional green card, you renew it 90 days before the expiration. If you have a 10-year card, you do it 180 days before the expiration.
Damien says, am I able to reopen old criminal convictions to overturn inadmissibility? Because the immigration consequences were never discussed regardless of the plea allocation.
Wow, that is good. That's a good question.
That's a solid question.
Solid question. The answer is yes. You could always try to vacate your conviction. You got to show that your rights were violated, or hopefully, play the violins and, get a judge to say what happened is fundamentally unfair. Or the district attorney sometimes will say, you know what, I'll join you in on this, and what happened was fundamentally unfair.
We've got a question from Nicholas who says, good evening. My dad is in the process of filing for my sister, her husband, and her son. My dad's at the point where he needs to pay the immigrant visa application processing fee, but the issue is that my sister's husband now wants off the application. What I'm wondering is, if my dad sends in the fee that covers just my sister and son only, could he continue the case without any delays, or would he need to first remove my sister's husband and then send in the fee?
No, just pay for who you want to come.
Well, that's handy.
And if he doesn't want to come, maybe he wants to get a divorce from her because it'll even speed it up faster.
Aha.
Because now she's unmarried instead of married.
Got that. This is the big brain on Brad.
Big brain
That's
on Brad.
Exactly what it is.
That big brain. What else?
Maureen says, my sister's a U.S. citizen. The governments that she received from the government.
The governments that she received
The government benefits, sorry. The benefits that she received from the government were food stamps and health benefits for her and her children. She wants to file for mom. Is she going to have issues?
She very well may, because she got need-based assistance. She's going to have to get off of it if she wants to file for mom.
First Lady Carrie Berry, yes, Queen, says, my father is 59 years old and his green card expired about a year ago. He lives in the U.S. for about 20 years now and he's on disability. He's incredibly sick, but now he wants to apply for his citizenship. Could he apply with his citizenship with an expired green card?
Yeah, you can apply with an expired green card. You don't have to renew it. As long as you've been living in the United States, it's perfectly fine. Now, he's on disability and sick. Is he going to be able to take the test?
Right.
Is he going to be able to study for the test? Is he going to be able to answer those questions? We need to know some more.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Sandra from Pittsburgh has been on hold.
Okay.
So let's speak to Sandra from Pittsburgh,
Absolutely.
and then we're going to finish up with Kim. So Sandra's going to be our last question that we take online. After that, no more.
Lines are closed.
Lines will be closed, and we're going to have Kim finish up.
Glorious.
How's that?
That sounds glorious.
All right. Sandra, how are you?
Good evening, I'm good. I need to ask you a question, Brad.
Yeah, go ahead.
My brother is an American citizen. He marries to a Jamaican lady, but he divorced his wife 5 years ago or more. I can't say how many years, but he divorced. But he's paying child support, and he also is paying back child support. Can that filing come through for her to get her green card?
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as he's on some sort of payment plan for the back child support, he can certainly refile for somebody else. It's when he's just not paying it is a problem.
Okay.
All right, so he should be okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Best of luck, and if he needs help, hold on. All right, so that's it for telephone calls. What we want everybody to do is take your fingers and share this. Let everybody know that in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to answer as many immigration questions as ever been done in the history of the world. You're going to see something that has never been done ever before. We are going to answer in 15 minutes. How many questions you got?
I've got at least 10, and they're going to keep rolling in.
At least 10 questions, maybe more, in 15 minutes. It has been done before, but only by one person. Me.
Brad Bernstein.
I don't believe anybody else. I bet you if Guinness Book of World Records came, and they said, we don't have any way of counting this. Mm-hmm. Okay? Most free legal advice given in the history of the world to people, to individual people. I'm not saying I handled every case for free, but most free immigration advice.
Yes.
I have to tell you that I am very confident that I have given free legal advice to at least 100,000 people in my career, because I've been doing this radio show for a long time, and now we're on Facebook Live.
Right.
I feel very confident that there is not a human being in the world who has given free legal advice to over 100,000 people.
You know what? There's
Individual.
A thought.
Yeah. Individual. There's no way to count it though, so I can't prove it.
No, but we could call Guinness and have them start counting now, because I feel like even in 10 minutes you're going to answer more questions than most attorneys do.
Guinness should have the Guinness Book of World Records come.
Well, let me get them on the phone real quick.
Yes.
On my super hand phone, and we're gonna get Guinness.
Also, let them count most bad jokes by middle-aged bald man on live Facebook show. Okay, I believe I would win that. I would be a dual record holder. Both bad jokes by middle-aged host on a live Facebook feed, and most immigration questions answered in.
You know, Kimmy Kim agrees.
Or what we can do.
Oh, I'm bracing myself.
I'm just thinking about this.
I saw the light bulb go off.
Most immigration questions answered in a 2-hour show. We can compile as many questions as we humanly can. I won't know the answers to them.
Yeah.
And I will try to answer in 2 hours. Do you think I could do that? Maybe I could. In 2 hours.
Like an answer-a-thon?
An answer-a-thon, like boom, 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 boom. And say, this man just answered 3,000 legal questions in 2 hours. Or 5,000, I don't know.
Wait, you think you could get in the thousands of legal questions
in 2 hours? I don't know. Well, it depends on
hours?
how fast you can answer it.
It's on me to ask it quickly?
You have to ask it quickly.
Yeah,
because you're going to totally screw me up. You're like, he's going got 3 more to break the record. And
That's right.
And Kim's going to be like, wait, I don't understand this. Can we get out the Facebook translate? I'm like, we don't have time! Just answer the question!
I got to defend my honor. You're the one with the, I ask long-winded, but that's just because I ask it
But it's going
written.
to be on you if you can't, you got to get the questions out fast enough.
Okay.
And then it's going to be on me because I get ADD, and then all of a sudden I stop paying attention.
Stop
and I'm going to be like, what? Huh? What?
None of that.
Yeah.
You can't do any of that.
Right, I'm going to have to go to a doctor and get Adderall or something and be just like,
Do like stretches, like focus stretches.
Something. All right. Something to think about.
That is something. And Kimmy Kim said that Kimmy Kim London, the other Kimmy Kim, said that she went back on YouTube and watched some of our really old content.
Right.
And she said, you're a really good lawyer. No lie.
No lie is right. I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe we can have Guinness just count all the stuff that I did.
There you go. I think that
But what's on YouTube is not everything I did. That's maybe less than 1% of what I did.
And that's true. And on YouTube, we already have 3,000 or 2,000, over 2,000 videos. So I think
but that's
that
less than 1% of what I literally did.
Guinness, give us a call.
I had 2 really good ideas today. One, make a Lifetime movie for Hector Barajas.
That's a great idea.
Great idea.
Someone's on it.
2, call Guinness, and I don't mean the beer company. Mm-hmm. I mean the world record company.
Right. Although that would be, if Guinness, the beer company, wants to come in, I'm okay with that too.
Or I can just have the world's longest mustache, just not shave for a long time until Cordella Willery just goes crazy and shave.
Yeah, that's still almost the most threatening comment we've ever got. I'm gonna shave your face with a broken glass bottle.
That scares me. I remember that one. That was the most threatening.
That's really stuck in your head.
Yeah, but I know she's a sweet woman. Other than that, I'd be terrified.
When you shave in the morning, are you like, thank God it's not a glass bottle?
I do think about Cordella Willery telling me that she's going to come with a glass bottle. I do think about that.
I will say yesterday, you got a lot of love for the clean-shaven look.
Yeah, okay. I'll shave tomorrow.
They love the clean-shaven look. Give the people what they want,
Give them what they want. All right, well, if I gave them what they want, I'd be taking clothes off one by one here, okay?
That's true.
Right?
Yes, you would.
I saw those comments. I can't do that.
Per Barbara Lord,
yes.
For every 100 views, you should take off a piece of clothing. Thank God you're wearing a pocket square. You can start with that.
Let me see if the pocket square is big enough to cover everything.
So you end with the pocket square. Good call.
All right, let's answer the rest of the immigration questions.
Okay, Shakira would like to know.
Well, I want you to know something. The only 2 people who enjoyed that conversation was me and you. Nobody else enjoyed that, but I enjoyed myself.
We had a blast with it. I found that delightful. We've got Shakira, who says, can a citizen grandmother who has full custody of a grandchild apply for a visa for the grandchild before she becomes 18? Grandma's a citizen.
Yeah, but she can't file for a grandchild.
Even though she has full custody of the grandchild?
You have to bring the child to the United States as an orphan. Unless the child's here, then you'll do a SIJ. Those are your options. So she needs to come and talk to us, because what I don't want her to do is go do an adoption in another country. She'll never get the kid here.
Right.
And that all has to happen before 16.
Ah.
I don't know how old this child is.
Because she just turned 18. But grandma has full custody and is a citizen, so I'm assuming child is in the U.S.
If the excuse me. The child's in the United States. I just got the hiccups.
Oh, that was a hiccup? I wasn't sure what to say.
I just got the hiccups in the middle of a live show. But so there's nothing I could do. So if I'm in the middle, I go like that, and it's just another hiccup.
We got 8 minutes.
We got 8 minutes to go. You know what you have to do?
Right. 30 seconds. I'll just really slowly ask the questions.
Okay, so I'm okay now. All right. So if the child's in the United States, do a SIJ.
Okay.
Special immigrant juvenile. I'm going a little nutty today. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
You've been on one today, Brad. Yeah. Patricia says, "Can a high school
Lisa Bligro says, what Brad drinking today?" Nothing, guys. She's gone crazy.
Patricia says, "Can a high school student living in the U.S. who just turned 18, could she go ahead and file for her mother who is also living in the U.S.?"
No, you have to be 21 and a U.S. citizen, and has nothing to do with high school.
Dembo says, "I enjoyed your conversation."
Thank you, Dembo. Thank you very much.
Ya says, "I'm an international journalist currently based here in the U.S. I was given a social security number on my arrival 4 years ago. What I'd like to know is if you could help me. If you can help me get a green card. I filed for work authorization but was denied, and they told me that my document was missing in their system."
He's an international journalist.
Yeah.
And he wants to know how he can get a green card.
Yes.
And he overstayed his time.
Yes.
So his question is, how do I get a green card?
How do I get a green card?
Have a consultation.
He's like, could you help me get a green card as a foreign broadcast journalist? Like, is there some sort of special...
well, there's a special visa for foreign broadcasters, but that doesn't mean it entitles you to a green card if you overstayed your time.
Right.
But maybe you can do a job sponsorship. I don't know. But we got to speak to him and see.
Samantha says, "My name is Samantha and I am from St. Lucia. I really need your help. I've already had my visa and then I came back home on time, but something happened and now they are no longer allowing me to travel back to the U.S. I think my case is worth looking over. Can you help?"
Yes, call us and we'll figure out what happened.
Absolutely. We've got another question from, my computer is freezing. Sorry. We've got another question from Lori, who says, "I have a friend and my friend's family and my friends are living in the U.S. for about 10 years now. Is there anything that they could do to get a green card?"
That's how can I get a green card? I've been here for 10 years, which is different than how can I get a green card here out of status several years as an international broadcaster. Same exact question. You need to have a consultation with me.
Althea says, "I'm a legal permanent resident here in the U.S. However, I've got a daughter who's 11 years old and currently living in Jamaica. I'd like to petition for her, but I'm very worried it's going to take a long time."
She's a permanent resident?
She's a permanent resident.
How did she get her green card?
You know what? It doesn't
Because if she starts the process all over, it's 2 years. But maybe she got her green card in a category that allows her daughter to follow to join. It'll be a lot faster. So maximum 2 years if you start now, but maybe she's a follow to join and we can do it faster. It depends on how this mother, whoever her name is, what's her name?
Althea.
Althea, depends on how Althea got her green card.
Tracy says, "I know someone I have a friend who is a U.S. citizen.
Right.
We grew up together in Guyana. I'd like to visit him. Is there any way that I could do that?"
You want to go visit your friend in Guyana?
No, the friend is a citizen and she is in Guyana, but they grew up in Guyana together.
Yeah. It's called apply for a visitor's visa, but it's not going to be to visit your friend because they're going to think you're going to marry him or you're coming to stay. What is the thing that's going to get you to return to Guyana? That's the key thing.
Crawford says, my husband went on the interview and they told him to bring back proof of a relationship. He brought them a phone bill that showed that we had been texting, and now they're saying that they don't see any text message communication between he and I. What can I do?
Well, obviously you filed for your husband. They don't believe it's a real marriage. Don't do anything more. Come see us. Let's talk about what your husband can bring in. They want volume of documents. It's not a bill. They want volume. Let's talk about the volume of things that you can do. And worse comes to worse, you may have to fly to where your husband is and get a Stokes interview, a la Tamika and Kevin.
And hopefully you'll do better
Correct.
than Tamika and Kevin.
Correct.
Dolly says, how long, if a U.S. citizen child is filing for their parents, would it take? That was convoluted. But
Yeah, about a year if they're in another country, a year and change if they're adjusting here, about 9-10 months.
Kavisha says, when a person comes back to the U.S. on an SB1 visa, what do they need to do to get a green card?
Well, if you came back on an SB1 visa, that means that you stayed out of the country for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So to become a citizen, you got to satisfy the citizenship requirements, which are be in the United States for 30 out of the last 60 months, physically here, no trip more than 6 months. So you got years and years and years before filing for your citizenship.
Shaleza has an interesting problem. Shaleza was married and had and got her green card in 2009. She's been doing fine ever since, but she recently got a letter in the mail with an immigration court appointment date. She's afraid that she's in deportation proceedings now. What's going on?
You're in deportation proceedings. Be afraid. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they put you in deportation, but when you got a notice to go before your court date, they send you what's called a notice to appear, and it lists in the notice to appear the allegations against you and why they put you in deportation. Why, I don't know. Don't do anything, but literally run to your telephone right now, call us and make an appointment so we can help you. Other than that, you may get deported, which you don't want to see happen. All right, Kim, we're at the end of our show.
We're out of time.
We are out of time as usual. As usual, we are out of time. But before we leave,
yes,
I would like to hear the Facebook comment of the day.
Now, the Facebook comment, the highlight of the day.
We like to call it now the Facebook comment of the day. It could be several comments.
It's going to be several comments.
Okay, fine.
It's goings on. A judgment needs to be passed down, Brad. Jeff Bosey bet all of the Brad squad that we were going to lose viewers yesterday, and he was wrong, and he lost, and now he is refusing to pay up. He owes Tamika Nelson $72 because he thought that all of the viewers we got yesterday were just based on Jorge's appearance. And maybe they were, but they loved the show so much they kept watching.
I would like to put Jeff on the stand and ask him why he thinks we would lose viewers. We don't lose viewers here.
No, we don't.
They just shut us off. That's not losing.
A slight pause.
A slight pause.
Yeah.
But we never lose. We only win.
We are winners.
Winners.
Yeah. So who do you think's in the right? Do you think Jeff owes Tamika $72?
I would like to see the bet.
Okay, we've got receipts.
Maybe we should have the Brad court.
I think we need to hold Brad court.
We should have Brad court between Jeff and Tamika.
And then you get, we get a gavel?
We have the perfect person to produce this segment, by the way. All right, Brad Court's coming soon.
Brad Court coming
Jeff
up.
and Tamika. Tamika, I don't know if that's her second time on our show.
Yeah. Comment all stars.
Yes. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow, and stay tuned for Brad Court. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.